Oh, hello everybody. It's Chris Smith here at the YNTAAY Minis. And guess who's with me today? Grace Jasmine.
It's true.
Welcome, Grace Jasmine.
Thank you, Chris Smith.
You know, she wrote a new play called The Mash,
It's true.
which is part of the Hollywood Fringe Festival in beautiful Hollywood, California. And look, I'm even wearing a shirt that says Mash This.
Very nice.
Now, Grace Jasmine, thank you for joining us today.
You are so welcome.
Tell us, to our viewers out there, how you would describe the masher for those few people who haven't heard about it.
Well, I think that it is a surreal, sort of a Twilight Zone-y kind of very strange black comedy that inside this comedy, this very weird black comedy, there are these three very weird, real women, not weird women, who
Weird
are,
too, but yes.
who are experiencing a very strange job situation that they think is going to be super normal, and then they find out that something very diabolical is happening at this place they're working.
Yeah.
So the underpinning of this, there's a message to this story that I don't want to give too much away, but these women are all experiencing various different kinds of big problems in their lives. And I wrote this as a reaction to the Me Too situation and sort of as my take philosophically on problems with domestic abuse and violence towards women and how those are dealt with in society today. So, but you know, it's all done in such a way where you're getting a message, but you're also very immersed in these three characters' lives and watching how they deal with the amazing power they suddenly have and the amazing ability to sort of be judge and jury in a situation that they didn't expect.
Yes,
So,
which is one of my favorite things about it, how they're sort of forced to play God.
Right.
And it's like, do you abuse this power?
right.
And, well, I love the show, may I tell you. Now, I do work on the show, but as an actual theater lover,
Right.
I'm here just as a fan.
Thank you.
So, now, did you realize when you wrote the show that you were going to be pushing the buttons? Because there have been some strong reactions from some audience members who maybe are having reactions that they didn't think
Right.
they would have.
Right. I think the show is button pushing, both literally and figuratively.
Yes.
There's an aspect of the show, not to give away what goes on in the show, but we have a shirt that says "Press the Button," so obviously that's a thing in the show.
We have Mash This.
Right. But I think that some people have very strong reactions because it's a, you know, it's an in-your-face kind of look at all of the problems that the story deals with, and I think that it triggers some people. I think it's going to, you know, it's going to be a subject that's a sore spot for people. Certainly, it's sort of about the hidden secrets and the things that we push under the rug and the things that we don't like to deal with women in society. And it should be dealt with. So I think that some people have had very visceral, negative, strong triggers from it, but you know, I would say maybe 99% of the people who have seen it really, really resonated for them, and they've been moved by it, and excited by it, and interested in it. So.
Exactly. And if you read our reviews on HollywoodFringe.org,
Right.
you'll see that there are really only positive reviews.
Right. Even the negative reviews are positive.
The ones that we would consider negative
Right.
have actually good things to say about the show. They love the cast,
Right.
which we're going to talk about a little bit right now.
And I also think one thing I just want to say really quick is that I think that sometimes people don't understand women's experience in actual real life, and I think
Yeah.
some men don't understand that women all have experiences of abuse and all have experiences of sexual harassment, and often worse than that, and they find that hard to understand. But if you talk to any of your women friends, they will tell you that they've all had those experiences.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's
Talk to your women friends and women in your family, and I think you'll be surprised
Right.
at the number who have experienced things that you probably wouldn't even think of
Right.
as sexual harassment or any kind of abuse. And and it affects women differently than it does men, and probably some women more than other women. And
I also think that good men, they're in denial because they don't want to think that anything bad could happen to women they care for.
Exactly.
And I think that that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, because everybody has a mother.
Sisters.
A lot of people have sisters.
Right.
Everybody
Daughters.
has women, friends, wives,
Colleagues.
whatever. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, we don't want to know that bad things
Right.
are happening to women.
Right.
So. Or men.
Right.
Now, all of our cast members we're going to talk about. Here's some of the people in the show. Now, Cindy Lopez plays Doris.
Right.
Morgan Aiken.
Hold it up.
Yes.
So this is Cindy
Tay.
Lopez, right here. And this is Morgan Aiken. Aren't you glad I painted my fingernails?
Yes.
And this is Alana Matthias. And this is Megan Reese. And this is Blake McCormick. He's the only man in our show. And he plays 3 roles. So he does a really superb job with those.
And we also have Amanda Wagner.
Right, and she's our stage manager.
She's our stage manager and the understudy.
Right, the understudy for Megan Reese's role, which is Supervisor Jackson.
Look, here are some still pictures.
Aren't they a very attractive and cute cast?
And look, they're wearing our merchandise. And now, didn't you take these pictures, or was
I
that
did.
Sarah?
I took these pictures.
These are amazing pictures.
Thank you. That's been fun to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and we should show the front. Should we show the front of our...
So look, this is our program, and look, Grace did the playbill. Now I don't know if playbill will allow us to do it, but at Fringe we're doing it anyway.
No, they did.
Did
I bought the licensing.
Oh, well.
So we are legally being
Look, now,
a playbill.
Now you know, kids, I go to a lot of theater. I review a lot of shows. We have the best program at Fringe. Some didn't even try. They'll give you a sheet of paper if you're lucky,
Right.
with things printed on it. We have gorgeous. I'm not going to be like Scott Guy from New Musicals Inc. and it's an inside joke. He did a thing at Fringe the other day where he went page by page on the program to explain to the audience. Sorry, Scott Guy, if you're watching. Look, I'm even in it. I'm the assistant to the producer.
He's my assistant.
But
I could not get on without him.
But like I'm saying, I'm like that guy in the commercials that's like, I not only own the company, but I'm a user. But I don't own the company, but I am a fan of the mashup. And I'm not kissing her tuchus. I'm telling you, I've seen this show so many times in rehearsal and at each performance, and I still laugh. I'm not just saying that. I get something different from the show every time I see it. So thank God, because if I were working another show, and I've worked shows where I was not a fan, and it's like, oh my God, I can't watch that again tonight. And I would sit down like in the lighting booth where I was after I'd do my cues, and I'd just cover my ears just so I wouldn't have to hear it again.
Yeah.
But the masher I can watch again.
One thing I just wanted to mention is the artist.
Oh my gosh.
So Summer Rue is the artist for this show, and she is incredibly talented, and she did all of the graphic art, but she also painted this oil painting, and it's a spectacular piece of art that she was kind enough to let us use for our poster, and it's been very set a mood, I think. You know, a really sort of intense, emotional, maybe disturbing mood, and you know, certainly that's what we wanted to do.
And one person compared it to the Cosette from Les Mis,
but sort of an inside-out look of that.
Exactly.
So I thought that was a reviewer actually.
Yes.
Oh no, that was Broadway World.
Yes.
When I did my interview there.
And I'm going to be getting this poster and hanging it on my wall of posters, which you've all seen if you've been watching my show and seeing.
So that's a pretty big honor to be on the wall of posters.
Well, you know, I don't just hang anything.
That's
like
true.
1776 isn't hanging. Sorry. But yes, so now you also produced and directed the show as well as wrote it. I did. You weren't originally going to direct, but it turned out that you did, and I'm glad.
Yeah,
but how has directing been for you?
It has been an amazing experience. I think that at first I was looking for a director because obviously I live in Phoenix and I've moved out here for the run of the show, as you know. Yes. And originally I had wanted to hire somebody to do the show. It just was never the right match. You know, certainly nice people, but it wasn't the right person for the show.
Which happens sometimes.
Right. And I felt like when we did the casting together, and of course, you were one of the casting directors and helped with that process. I already had built rapport with these people that I was, working with in the casting process, and they already knew me and they had already been taking direction from me. And so it sort of seemed like a natural thing. And, I really felt like I could get my message across and have control over that. And plus, I've directed before, obviously, and it was a really great chance to put my stamp on it on a philosophical level. And I also think that it was cool to have the opportunity to work with these really super talented actors.
They're so talented.
They are. They're really talented. And I also think that it gave me a chance to, work on performance with these individuals and have a lot of one-on-one and have these in-depth rehearsals. And I think we've each and every one of them has had an extraordinary performance, and we've had great reviews all the way through. And
they always mention the cast too, which we're so proud.
Yeah, we're very proud.
Cast.
They mentioned the cast, they mentioned the theme, they mentioned the writing. It's been very, very successful.
Yeah.
So it's been nice for us to see what we could do,
Exactly.
as a company, basically.
Yeah. And now it's in a little black box theater in Hollywood at Studio C,
Right.
which is next to the complex on Santa Monica Boulevard, if you know the area. And what I love is how you've made this little black box come to life, and the lighting, everybody, it has a nightmarish feel to it, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah,
like
it's very
Pam
creepy.
Knowles is doing.
She's the tech, and she's also the
tech.
stage manager at Asylum.
Yes.
Just want to give a little shout out to Matt Quinn and Bertha Rodriguez, who own the theater, and they're extremely supportive about Fringe. They they welcome everyone to their theater who's part of the group at Studio C, and then Pam Knowles is just. I can't say enough good about her. She's helped us so much with our show, and she's always been that person who has your back.
Exactly.
And helped us, really get the very best lighting design possible. And she's also run, Graydon Schlichter did our sound, but then, Pam obviously put everything all together for us and made it into an interesting, very well designed show from that standpoint, from the technical standpoint.
Yes, and at Fringe, you're on a time deadline. Like you have to get in and out of that theater, as we found out.
Right.
The
Really
bathroom
quickly.
situation sometimes is tricky because, we won't go into
Yeah.
it. But
Go
yes.
next door to the Fringe bar is my suggestion.
Or just hold it for the hour.
Yeah.
But, but yes.
I'm choking.
I know, we're choking. And everybody at Fringe has the Fringe croup because everybody's been working nonstop.
Right.
So people come to the show and they're like, oh, I have a show.
We have Fringitis.
And you're shaking hands, you're hugging people. The Fringe community is so supportive of each other. Everybody's going to each other's shows.
That's true.
Comping each other. So
Yeah.
if you get a chance to go to Hollywood Fringe, which happens every June,
Yes.
I recommend it. If you get a chance to get a show in Fringe, I had Feet First years ago. Grace had Fucked Up Fairy Tales.
And Sybil's Closet.
Sybil's Closet.
And that's how we met.
Yes,
Well, we
so-
met before at the NMI workshop, but we
Yes.
were, just kind of like ships that passed in the night. I mean,
Yeah.
we helped each other, we read each other's stuff, right? But
Yes.
we really became friends during the 2017 NMI Fringe experience, and that was at the Broadwater, which is, at that time, was Sacred Fools.
Yeah, and it's down the street from where Studio C is, so we're in the same neighborhood, like we're haunting the streets where we grew up.
Yes, and
But
they've got a great bar there.
They
so.
have a great bar and great bathrooms,
They
too.
do.
Those bathrooms you can go to during the show because they're not on the other side
Those
of the
bathrooms
stage.
are a delight.
Yes, just be quiet because there is a show in
Right.
progress.
They've got a
There's
really
always
nice
show,
bar.
There's always a show in progress at Fringe.
Right.
But yes, getting back to Pam, knowing that Pam is back there in the, running the
Right.
controls of that
Right.
show it's really a comfort because it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that.
Pam rocks.
And-
I can't say enough good about her. We, can I tell about a little bit without giving away? I want to tell about that little experience we had the other night when an important piece of scenery.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so there's a light, and I'm not going to give anybody more information than that. But
It's a button.
It's a button and a light, and it shows different colors, and so it's very important to the show. At one point, a dramatic cross down a staircase knocked our light off, and so Pam and myself and Chris were losing our.
We're like,
Oh my God! And so Pam turns to me and Chris and goes, "It's live theater, bitches!" And so we are all.
which is going to be a shirt. Too.
Yes, we were laughing our heads off, but at the same time, Pam and I were quickly looking through the book and going, "Where can you go out there? Where can you go out there?" And so finally, during Cindy Lopez's monologue,
Yeah.
Pam jets out there and
The lights go down. It's like a focus on her.
Oh my God!
Pam creeps out there during the.
Sticks the thing back on with the Velcro, right? And praise to God, it worked.
And it still worked after for
my
the next
God.
sliding cue.
And
so.
Chris and I were back there, and then we all like are high-fiving and jumping up and down because it was just this incredible moment. So
yeah, it was wonderful.
that was fun.
Now we're about to wrap up because we're, we don't know if my camera is gonna stop at any minute. It's live theater, bitches.
Yes.
But
Yes, it is.
tell the people where they can get these wonderful shirts.
Okay, well, we have 3. We have Match This, as you can see, and if you hold up that little side right there, you can see that that's a naughty little finger hand that I won't see. I'll let you do it, not me.
Sorry. It's a good
and then there's
Christian
one
show.
that says "I'm wine sexual," which you will see is a line in the show,
Very
and
important.
also very fun to wear around at your wine parties. And
People have stopped me.
Yeah, they love it.
These ladies who didn't
Everybody
know about
wants
the
them for
show,
their wine
they're like,
group.
yeah. So
all these girl groups want them to get them together with their wine friends and
Yeah.
stuff. And then we have one that says "Press the button," and
with
so
a big period, but that could also be a button.
Right.
And people on the street have actually pushed my button.
Right.
Luckily, it wasn't up here. It was down here a little bit.
Right.
So
if you are interested in getting a T-shirt, contact me through the Hollywood Fringe website. You can leave a message for me on the Masher show. So I'm obviously there. Grace Jasmine is writer, director, producer. Click on my name. Leave me a message there. I'll get it, and then you can either pay me. They're $20. You can pay me on PayPal, and then I will we'll ship it to you or we'll find you somewhere around Fringe. We'll find you. And they are going pretty quickly. So,
Yeah,
but we go from small women's to 2XL men's with every size in between. And they're
and
really
look,
cool.
there are different colors and things.
Yeah, so the lighter one are the women's, and we have women's style too, so you don't have to have that. Everybody hates those
you
crew
can
shirts
have
on women.
Yeah.
So it's a flattering style. So
Yes. Now, what do you hope happens with the show after Hollywood Fringe?
well, that's a good question. Thank you for asking it. I really would like to see this show become a equity run, and so I was in fact talking to Mike Shapiro, a colleague of ours and a friend of ours, and he was mentioning to me that if you go to Fringe in New York City and you have a house that's over 100 seats, that's considered an off-Broadway run. So that may be how I start with an off-Broadway run, but my real interest is to move forward to an equity run and be able to move the show into a full would be probably an hour and 25 with a 90 minutes probably with an intermission, but I don't know. So a full-length show.
Well, that's very exciting.
Yeah, I think that's the next step, and then obviously just keep going with as many projects as possible. Working on a musical still, and of course we're always looking for good composers. So definitely message me if you're a composer
out there. Please contact.
Yeah, message us.
We need.
We'll fight over you.
We'll share.
We might share
maybe,
you.
Maybe you like to spread yourself really thin.
Or we could maybe write a show with a composer and we
Or
could work
we'll
together.
spread you thin. I don't know. But and I am willing to move to New York, Grace Jasmine.
Are you really?
If you need me.
All right, well, let's do it.
At least temporarily.
And we'll at least go there for the Fringe.
Yes. So, okay.
Or for whatever we
Yeah,
do.
So.
Good idea.
Okay.
We have to have cheers.
Yes. Cheers. We have closing this weekend, but it's sold out. So
It's sold out.
You're
But
just gonna,
I do think maybe if you really want to see it, come to the door because who knows
we'll
if
try and I'll stand outside. I'll stand outside for part of it.
Yeah.
if
And
they
I also
wanna
think
stand
that
in my
we might
spot.
have a couple of cancellations. I know that sometimes people do. Right now, we're completely full, but that could change.
Here's our address.
It's
Santa
Studio
Monica
C.
Blvd.
We're right at the cross street of Cole and Santa Monica, and right down from the Complex Theater. So we're actually in Theater Row. So that's it's the best location in the world, and it's the nicest theater in the world. The people are great, and the vibe is awesome. And if you want to be part of Fringe, that's the place to go.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for
you.
being with us.
This is wonderful. We have to cheer again now.
Cheers. Okay.
Happy Fringe.
Goodbye, everybody. Happy Fringe.